few months back, I finished with my 10th board exams. And let me tell you, it was such a hysterical experience. There were literally so many things on my mind. First was the exhaustive and demanding syllabus of the exam. Second was the thought that will I be able to cope up with the syllabus? And third was that I just didn't feel prepared enough. I was confused and stressed. That is a normal state to be in, isn't it? It is said that if you're not stressed during your exams, you're not serious about your studies. That is the incorrect impression you give to everyone, right? Well, of course, these are the things related to studies. But then there were other things in the transition from school to college life, like leaving your best friends with whom you spend so much of your time with. And the thought that school life is over and I have to go to a college where things are not going to be as simple. Oof, too many changes. I would also like to point out that in India, the country that I live in, people have always believed that if you do not get into the right college, your career is basically over. With all these things piled over my head, I was having anxiety, fear, and several mixed emotions. It was like a crazy roller coaster ride with thoughts going all topsy-turvy within my brain. I was not realizing, but all these things together in such a short span of time were making me apprehensive and fearful. So I would like to focus today on what and why there is exam anxiety and how you can deal with it. Friends, I asked myself a question. What is stress and anxiety? And why people feel it is essential in healthy amounts to accomplish anything important in our lives. For example, all the exams, career decisions, job hunts, getting married, literally just everything involves stress and anxiety. It is something which is invisible yet omnipresent. When I deep dived into the roots of it to find the answer, I came to know that stress is the outcome of situations or events that put us under pressure. And anxiety is the body's natural response to stress. With this began a negative self-talk. What if I'm not able to cope up with the syllabus? What if I do not get good grades? What if I do not get into the right college? All these worries, along with peer pressure, added up the whole mental drama that I was having. And I started believing in what others were saying. Demotivation, dejection, and burden were the outcomes of my entire inner dialogue. I realized that others' dreadful opinions and suggestions, and when despair to do nothing about it, had started controlling me, giving me sleepless nights. Daily, I went into my cocoon, isolating myself from my family and close friends. In fact, instead of focusing more on the exam preparation, I was finding ways to avoid it. My not so good result in the pre-board came in as an eye-opener. That was when I realized how important it became for me to control my thoughts and have a more productive regime day after day. I then started my fight with exam anxiety, and there were 3 techniques that I used. I started focusing on my strengths and not dwelling too much on my mistakes. I started having positive self-talk every day. I can do it became my mantra, and it changed the way I thought, acted upon, and felt. First technique that I used was to realize the importance of making a routine and being productive. I started making minor changes to my daily habits. First, I reduced the time that I spent on my phone playing video games and watching movies. Then, I started making my sleep schedule and eating habits right. And most importantly, I stopped procrastinating studying my most feared topics and started doing them first. Moreover, I added an hour of exercise and outdoor play into my routine. All these minor changes, day by day, made my routine much more efficient and made me feel so much better about myself. I would like to add here that don't just Google top 10 exam routines on the internet, because those are made by other people according to their needs and comforts. What you can do is check your circumstances and understand what routine suits you the best, because everyone's capacity of doing work is different and one should work according to their ability and competence. The second technique was having attainable goals. You need to make your goals realistic. If your goals are not realistic, they would do nothing but demotivate you. When you make your goals short-term and practical, you will realize you're much happier. And after completing each goal, do not forget self-gratification. After all, you must reward yourself for the correct things you do, right? Like grab an ice cream to treat yourself, or spend a little more time on your favorite hobby to make you cheerful for what you did. Last technique is engaging with the right people. This is very essential because the company you keep decides what kind of a person you are. Connect with people who motivate you, challenge you, and make you feel comfortable around them, rather than staying with people who demotivate you and let you down. Once you have the right company, you will feel happy and comfortable around them. Share your feelings with them so that you do not end up feeling your stress and anxiety bubble that might burst at the wrong place at the wrong time. Share your feelings, get advice, be a good listener, and take a moment to laugh with others. I would like to conclude by saying that any kind of stress and anxiety is not good for our mental well-being. Be it exam stress, career stress, stress given by your girlfriend, or even stress caused by the most recent dreadful coronavirus pandemic. All the above techniques I use to fight exam stress are equally applicable to any kind of anxiety and mental illness. Whenever we are faced with a stressful situation, we have two options: fight or flight. I chose to fight the stressful situation and scored fairly good in my board exams, while also enjoying the journey. Let's not allow this invisible demon of stress and anxiety to make an abode in our mind. Let's not allow it to take a toll on our mental health. Let's tackle it by choosing our reaction carefully and overriding it like a champion. And I would like to end by quoting Mr. Hans Selye. It's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it that does. Thank you very much.